Everyone, it's Kirei here for Hey Little Magpie, and I have a brand new layout using the very new Simple Stories Simple Vintage Junk Drawer collection. And I'm also using elements from the Hey Little Magpie, the January Embellishment Kit. So I've pulled out these two papers here. Now, I was drawn to this paper with the drawers on it, and it was one of those papers that I thought, I'm not really sure how I'm going to use it, but I really love it, and I'm going to get it, and I'm going to give it a go. Anyway, so what I've done here, I have got 12 small photos, and I've decided that I'm going to use like the little drawers, and I'm going to just cut them, and I'm going to tuck the photos into the drawers. So at the moment, I'm just placing them on here. I'm playing around with the ephemera. So I've got the bits and pieces ephemera, which is the one here with all the sort of curios and antique type bits and tickets. And I've also got the floral bits ephemera as well. I'm gonna use some elements of that to bring a little bit more blue into the layout. So yeah, so this is really how I start. I'm just placing everything around. Oh, here I'm bringing in some of the Hey Little Magpie, the embellishment kit pieces. So I've got that lovely cream lace sort of vintagey heart, and then I've got that large blue floral flower that I've added on. I've got a couple of other bits that I will add on later. Okay, so now I'm sort of happy with where things are. You know, I've got a bit of an idea. That's what I want it to look like. I'm going to mount all my photos, and I'm using it's called the Small Things pattern paper, and I'm using the blue side. But what I'm doing here on the back, I wanted to preserve some of these clipboards. So I was just sort of working out where I wanted my photos to go, so I knew, where I needed to cut around it. So excuse me, please. So then I've got my blue side now, so I can get all of those photos mounted, and I'm obviously going to be mounting each one of them individually. So I'll move on. There we go. As if by magic, they're all done, and I've distressed the edges, of course. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to sort of using a craft knife, just trim around the top of the drawers where my photos are going to sit. So you can see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to just tuck in the photos slightly. I will use foam pads on the top part of each photo just to raise them. And then I can just tuck in the different pieces, the different elements of the ephemera and the embellishment kit just to decorate around the photos. So here we go. Photos are all stuck down. Oh, one thing I did do is I actually did stick the pattern paper, the drawers pattern paper, to a sheet of white cardstock. I was obviously quite careful where I stuck it so that I knew I could still tuck down in behind the drawers and things like that. But I just felt like I needed a little bit more support behind it. Okay, so photos are all down, all in. And now I'm just going to start with the ephemera. So I've got this larger piece here on this photo. And it's of myself, and it's actually one of my closest friends back in Australia, and it's her daughter who came over for a holiday, and she spent some time in Croatia, but then came back over to do a bit of London, and she actually stayed with us for a week. So I took her all the way up into Oxford for the day, and it was really, the weather wasn't great actually. It was really rainy to start with, but the sky cleared up, and we got blue skies, which was lovely. And I felt like these photos of all the sort of buildings around Oxford, the colleges, worked really well with this vintagey feel Simple Stories collection. So yeah, so I wanted to get those scrapped. So I've got the large blue flower here. Now it has quite a bright yellow centre, so I wanted to cover that, and I've just got, it's one of the ephemera pieces. It's like a metal button, and that just worked perfectly just to cover that yellow up. So I'm getting things stuck down. I'm still playing around with everything, and I think, here we go. Have done it. I did go through. It took me a while, to be fair, because I did fiddle around a lot with where things were sitting. So I didn't want to bore you and show that. You can see it all now. And then I'm just getting stuck down those final pieces, that lovely cream lacy heart. And then I've got this sort of vintagey looking blue ribbon that was also in the embellishment kit. And I'm using that as a bit of a shelf for the title to sit on. And then, so the title I'm using is from the foam stickers that coordinates with the collection. So I'm just playing around here because I think I've was going to raise it up a little bit more, but the heart's fairly stuck. I was able to push the ribbon up, which worked fine. Now, I hadn't decided where I was going to add my journaling. So that was one thing I hadn't really considered, and I definitely needed to add some journaling. So I actually just added some pencil lines below the title in that gap between the photos. And I just add some rows of journaling there. So I'm bringing in some more foam stickers here. I've just got the little hearts. I'm just sort of dotting around on the clusters there. And I'm nearly there. It is a bit different, but I was desperate to use this pattern paper. I just wanted to use it, and I felt the drawers just felt like I needed to be popping bits in, and there was all these like curios and bits and pieces sort of popping out of the drawer. So yeah, really happy with how it came together. And I've got another of my ticking off another layout from my long list of layouts that I need to do. By adding the 12 photos, it definitely allows me to do all of that on one layout as well. So yeah. Okay, what's next? Enamel dots. Oh, yes. So I'm just going to bring in some of the enamel dots, and I'm just going to work with the blue. This is what I'm doing here. I've got those little tiny white mini flowers from the embellishment kit, and they've got a blue center, but it was a bit brighter. And I thought, oh, I'm going to just add one of the enamel dots in the center, and that worked really, really well. And then I'll add all of the blue enamel dots. I'm just going to dot them in and around the layout, just again bringing the blue into the layout because I've got pops of blue, and I just wanted to add a little bit more to bring that out as well. So yeah, here we go. Here's the final layout. You can see my journaling there that I just tucked in below the title, and here are some of the close-up details of that fabulous collection, Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Junk Drawer, and some of the lovely pieces from the Hey Little Magpie Embellishment Kit for January. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye for now.